We'll see.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 427 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Yeah, how you doing this morning, Mike?
I'm doing great, man. I'm flying high, living the dream.
All right, good to hear. Good to hear, my brother. Apparently I was fishing around on the internet, and I realized, Mike, the baseball season is still going on. Um,
You just now noticed this?
Believe it or not, they're still out there playing baseball. And all the teams that had the best records:
Uh-huh.
Atlanta, Baltimore, LA Dodgers, Tampa Bay, excuse me, Milwaukee, all eliminated. That's why I like baseball, because a lot of times these teams that do great all season, I don't know if they just run out of it, or the teams that don't do as good, they just have more energy or something, because those five teams gone, Mike. We're down to the final four in the Major League Baseball playoffs. It is now the Texas Rangers
Mhm.
versus the Houston Astros, two teams from Texas. And then also you have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who's also a desert, a team like down there in the whole desert region of the
Yeah.
country. Just let me double check something here real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
But I am honestly in disbelief, Mike, that this is still going on, and they still have rounds. You know what I mean? It's not even the
No,
World Series yet.
no, and I can't stand it.
In Philadelphia, I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
just had to
yeah,
double
yeah,
check
the Philly, yeah,
myself.
Bryce Harper and the boys
So you
are
get these
still going
three
over there.
hot desert teams, basically. I mean, as
Hmm.
close to the desert as you could get with these Texas teams, and then the Phillies as well. So, and that's what I mean. Like these teams, like the Phillies, tend to always do good in the playoffs for some reason. You just kind of notice they're okay during the season. I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't dominate us or anything, and which is usually what I go by. You
yeah.
kind of see how they play against your team. Here you go. You got the Phillies and the Diamondbacks, Mike, and like I said, Atlanta, nowhere to be found. Dodgers, nowhere to be found. And then on the other side, Baltimore and Tampa Bay, the two teams that were the best two teams in the AL all season, gone and gone.
Who would have thought Baltimore and Tampa Bay?
Not me.
Like,
You
really?
know what? I didn't. I took an educated guess when I was giving my picks when the beginning with the playoffs started, and I said one of those teams from the AL East would be in. None of them. They're gone.
No, this is wild though. This is why sports is fun. That's why if you can't get excited for this type of stuff in sports where teams that come out of nowhere, you know, I don't know. I don't trust you if you don't like sports like this, where Phil, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, two historically bad organizations.
You know what's funny about the Braves? I mean, they lost, and you know what? They haven't been great in many years. They used to be great when we were kids. They had a hard time getting the big one. I think they did it once, but I mean, they were a team that, like the Yankees, were always in the playoffs.
Hmm.
You always had to see them, and they still kind of carry that reputation with me,
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, the Braves are always in it. But I'm looking back, I'm thinking like the Braves
yeah,
aren't really always in it. That's just kind of where
yeah,
my mind goes, because that's where it was when we were growing up, and here we
yeah,
go. No Braves. It's Rangers versus Houston starting Sunday.
yeah.
And they also play game two Monday, and game one for the Arizona
Hmm.
Diamondbacks and the Phillies is on Monday. So,
My God, just looking at the bracket, you know, why can't Pittsburgh be in there? Like I've been saying, like the Rays and the
well,
Orioles,
Mike, we
they're
stink.
historically bad. Pirates are historically bad. Can we get in there? Like the Diamondbacks? Well,
Right.
what have they
The
done?
Diamondback. And that's what I'm saying. This team, like the Diamondbacks, they're probably going to win the World Series. That's
Yeah,
why it's like I just said at the top of the show, the playoffs in
yeah,
baseball just always throw me for a loop. They always
hmm,
do. It's always one
yeah,
of these teams that you wouldn't think, the half dozen teams that you would think, they all get eliminated like right off the top. It's crazy.
yeah. I'm
You don't
just
see any other sports like this.
no. I love upsets in sports. I love like these weird teams that come out of nowhere and make it. Like mm, and none of it. They're 6 seeds, 4 seeds, 5 seeds. The Astros are the highest seeded team as a 2 seed. They're like the only favorite there, and they're probably
Yeah.
going to lose to the Rangers. And
Yeah.
I think everyone's rooting against the Astros because of that cheating scandal years ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know who to root for.
They're about as popular as Israel is right now. Um,
I'm taking the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are my team. I can't root for the Philly team. I just
You know
can't.
what? I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers. And this isn't even me putting research into it. This was just me hearing somebody the other day talk about this, the baseball playoffs, and they seem really confident in the Texas Rangers, and they said that they've been saying it like most of the season. I'm going to take that educated guess and make that my pick. I'm going to pick the Rangers. That way, if I lose, I could blame it on somebody else.
There you go. That works.
That's yeah. Got to think big picture here.
That's how we do it here at the Two Dumb Yinzers. We'll
That's
just blame
right.
someone else.
That's
Zero,
right.
zero personal accountability over here.
None. That's what makes us special.
Exactly.
Tonight, Penguins at Capitals. The rival continues. I don't know how many more, as we mentioned the other day on the show, how many more of these we're going to see. The showdowns between Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin. And you know what? You might want to strap in and just check this out, because as I said, you never know how many of these you're going to see again. These guys are getting older now, and they've both been in the league for a million years. So, like I said, tune in, check it out. Penguins, Capitals tonight, 7:30, and no strap on required, Mike.
No strap on required, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your preference. But
any predictions, Mike? Second game of the season, they lost the first game to Chicago. They're playing Washington tonight. You want to take a stab at it?
I'm going to take Capitals. Capitals are going to win 4-2.
I'd say Pittsburgh wins this one, because even when times are bad, we always find a way to beat Washington.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good, tough game. A close game until the end. I think they'll score, make it 3-2, and pull a goalie 4-2 win.
All right.
But speaking of getting old, man, Crosby. Have you seen Crosby? Crosby has some gray hair.
I haven't, which is
that
weird.
made me feel even more old. I'm like, come on,
the kid has gray hair.
Sid the kid has gray hair. Like Ovechkin, I swear he's been gray since he's come into the league.
Yeah.
It just I never remember.
He had that weird premature graying.
Yeah, he could just be gray within the last 5 years, but I think I'm gonna say it's his entire career because it makes me feel better.
Yeah,
but to see Sid with gray hair now, it's like no.
Yeah, that'll throw you off.
Mm-hmm.
He was only born in 1987, dude. We got gray hair,
Yeah, it's like I remember watching Fleury come into the league as an 18-year-old. Now he has, he's almost retired. Same thing with like LeBron. Him and LeBron came in their respective leagues at the same year. You watch them like, oh my God, I feel old. Like I watched you grow up. Get out of here.
In Sidney Crosby's defense, LeBron's hairline is a lot worse than Sidney's gray.
Yes.
So do what you want with that.
You think with all the money that these guys have, they'd find a way to stop. But they got enough money; they don't have to worry about that.
That's what I'm saying. Normal guys.
Like, oh yeah.
Like
LeBron's like, oh, my hairline's
like
back here. Okay, I got 100 million, hundreds of millions.
I'm saying the regular guys like us, we're the only ones that care about that because we need everything we can get.
Exactly. Yeah.
These guys got it all. Oh, who cares if our hair doesn't look great?
Right. But hey, once again, no one's out pizza in the hut, aka Jimmy Garoppolo, Greek god. That man's beautiful.
I hate him.
Just look into his eyes one time, Ryan. Just look into
I did. Mike, also college football. A couple of notable games going on this weekend. Penn State coming in with number 6. They take on UMass tomorrow at 3:30.
Crap game, baby. We got Ohio State next.
Ohio State sitting at number 3 has Purdue. This game's at noon tomorrow.
Also, so both Penn State and Ohio State are playing tune-up games.
Yes,
I have no confidence in Purdue.
The Pitt Panthers, they're back in action after having a week off last week. They needed it. And I don't think it's going to matter too much. They play the Louisville. Listen to this. Louisville's 14. The only team we beat was Wofford.
That's bad.
The only team we beat was Wofford. And you got number 14 Louisville coming to town tomorrow. Yeah. You got this other quarterback who's stepping in to start. They benched Jagovkovic.
Yeah.
And they're starting this other guy. Mike, I can't imagine. Like I said, they'll be lucky to win 4 games. I think 3 is the ceiling with this team. As I said, you got not only Louisville at 14, you also have Notre Dame coming up. You got Florida State coming up. And you know what? You can't even count the other games that they should win as wins because they're not beating the teams that they should beat. I say 3 wins is the most that they could possibly even get this year. But you know what? It doesn't matter really too much because the coach, Pat Narduzzi, he is high on the list up at Michigan State, apparently for their head coaching job. So one way or the other, it's going to work out for him. If the team does well, it'll be good for him. And if they don't do well, he's probably going to run off to East Lansing and coach up there at Michigan State in the Big Ten with you guys. But
hey, I'll take him up into the Big Ten.
Yeah, I would happily give him to you.
I think everyone in this area would gladly send him off.
Yeah,
like this team,
not too popular now.
No, I'm just like very disappointed in this Pitt team this year. Like,
it didn't surprise me though. This is not a surprise. I mean, an entire surprise. Yes, I mean, I didn't expect them to lose every game that they've lost, but overall surprise, no, not surprised at all. I figured this to be the kind of team that they had this year. They don't have a home run hitter. They don't. No. If you're a college football team and you don't have a home run hitter, you don't have a splash play guy, you're not going to do well. You got to have one of two things. You got to have a really good quarterback, which most college football teams do.
Yeah.
And or have a big play guy, and we don't have either of those.
You had no one to replace Izzy from last year. Quarterback play is, but I thought it was that defense that they had last year that was making splash play after splash.
So many guys went to the NFL, man.
Yeah.
Dennis and Clancy and Clancy. Like there's about I think 4 or 5 starters.
They had a bunch of guys go to the NFL, but I was hoping that they would have someone in the pipeline ready to take those spots over. Yeah. I'm not a Pitt fan, but it was fun to watch that defense play.
They got a real fine young stud. He's a sophomore. He gets good playing time. He gets good numbers when he gets in. His name's Sean Fitzsimmons. He's from Central Valley.
Yeah,
this kid's a stud, man. When you start seeing him more, you're going to start seeing him more. He's a playmaker, and as I said, when they do put in the guys that aren't starting, like your freshmen and your sophomores, he makes plays. He gets sacks. So he's going to be a lot of fun moving forward. But this year, this is not going to be the season.
Yeah, they need to find a real quarterback.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone on this roster is the answer for them. Yeah, they put all their eggs in the Phil Jerkovich basket, and that blew up in their face. Now they're going with a guy who changed the pronunciation of his last name 12 times already. So they got that going.
I refuse to even call him his name because I don't know what it is. I say the other guy, the other
like his dad says, it's like Valou, like Lemieux, and the guy
looks like Varro
or whatever. Yeah, it's French. It has a weird pronunciation, but it's not that weird the way that the quarterback's trying to make it sound. So
right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him that asshole.
He's getting on my nerves. That's already annoying already.
Yeah, until you start making plays, then you can tell everyone how to pronounce your name.
Exactly. Look like Chad Johnson.
Yeah. Then you can go, hey, call me Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait till he plays good so we could call him Ocho Cinco.
I'll call him Ocho Cinco.
Also in the league, other notable games. The number 21 Notre Dame Fighting Irish host number 10 USC.
Let's go USC.
This game should be a good one after Notre Dame takes this loss. They're playing them. This should be a really good game. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll be keeping an eye on it. Also, number 12 North Carolina versus number 25 Miami.
Ooh, Miami's looking to bounce back after that debacle.
Miami and Notre Dame, both of these teams. And
again, Miami had that in the bag. All they had to do was kneel down. And hey, maybe that's why Tomlin was like, you know what? We're not risking this. We're going to kneel down. We don't want to be like the Miami Hurricanes. Because you know how you tend to see something happen on a Saturday and it happens on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Just, hey, you don't want to be that team in the pros when it happens.
So number 12, North Carolina. Number 25, Miami. Number 7, Washington. And number 8, Oregon.
That's going to be a good one.
That's going to be real good.
Yeah, Washington has Michael Penix Jr. He's potential first round pick. And that Oregon team, we saw what they did to the Buffs. So that's going to be a good game.
I mean, it's just a weird matchup. It's Northwest to Washington and Oregon, and one is 7 and one is 8. I mean, it's gonna be a good football
It's going
game.
to be a really good game. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. What happened? I didn't see, Mike. I didn't see or look into, but at some point in the past 24 hours, was there something crazy that happened in a West Virginia football game?
Oh god, yeah, like they were. Oh, where was I meant to look it up before the show started because I heard all about it and I got into doing something else. What the? Because I know it was like a really close game, and then West Virginia just blew it at the end.
Yeah, right.
And they're in the Big 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. Let's see here. Let's see here. They lost on the last second play. They were up 39-35 with 12. They scored 12 seconds left. Well, Houston, 2 plays, 57 yards, 49-yard touchdown pass.
Wow. I knew something crazy happened.
Yeah,
And West Virginia was having a really good season to this point. Their only loss was to Penn State.
yeah.
They'd won every game since then. There was, some.
Yeah, they scored on a 50-yard touchdown pass, and then 7 seconds
Free
later.
advertisement for Granger.
Oh, my bad. It was playing in the background. I'm sorry. I thought I muted it fast enough. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good, man. Yeah. So I was really, I was just kind of passively excited to see West Virginia, and then the first game I actually not paid attention, but I looked into it, and I see they lost. I thought, you gotta be kidding me. And then there was this big story. I seen everybody was talking about it.
Yeah,
people were going crazy.
I was listening on the radio. The one with the host, he's a WVU grad, and he was just all bummed out and depressed. And
really?
Yeah, it's like I caught the end of the show, so I knew something bad happened at WVU, and I went to look it up, and I forgot. But you had the game won, then you give it up 7 seconds later.
And that stinks. Like I said too, they were having a good year.
They were a really good year.
Continued to win, and
they were getting better because they got manhandled by Penn State, and they were just getting so much better.
And that's the thing about college football. Once you lose that second game, if you lose it in the first half of the year, you're like, shit, you can't lose anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to do anything that's decent, or have a decent bowl game, or anything, once you lose more than 2 games, you're kind of out of that talk. So, but that's the way it falls for West Virginia. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh, those hoopies.
Mike, to the NFL. Thursday night football game last night. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Denver Broncos 19-8. I caught this game off and on. I was watching and doing other things. It was 16-8. And they ended out holding Denver held Kansas City to a field goal. It ended up being like 53 yards. They were driving. They had a chance to really pad their score. Mahomes gets sacked, left it at about a 53 yard field goal attempt. So Denver's sitting there thinking, okay, we got the touchdown, the 2-point conversion. The game is only an 8-point game. If we could hold them, they did until that point. Buckner kicks it through. Mike, you couldn't have kicked it any more down the middle through the uprights. Unbelievable, man. Through the pressure, 53 yards. Guys just diving in front of you, trying to block the ball. This ball was so perfectly kicked. It was really beautiful, to be honest with you. I'm watching, I'm thinking, wow, to be that good.
Yeah, to be that. Hey, but we have a kicker of our own. Chris Boswell would have.
Yeah,
he did that kick.
Did well.
But I'm just surprised, man. Kansas City only put up 19 points.
Well, that's where I was going. They were 16-8. Game was in reach for Denver with a couple minutes left in the game. Kansas City kicks that, puts it out of reach, puts them up by 11, makes it a 2-score game at this point. And that's what they were saying was, this wasn't the greatest game that they played all year. But you know what? When you play these division games, you don't know how they're going to turn out. A lot of times you have that feeling, you're going to win because you're just a better team than this team in your division. But you just know that it's going to be a game. There's going to be a game. They know you better than anybody else. And guess what? The hapless Denver Broncos that just lost by 50 2 weeks ago, lost by 50. They kept this game within a touchdown until the final minute and a half of the game. So, you never know. You never know in the division. I always said that.
Division, like you say, man, like Derpy. I told you.
Yeah.
But no, the divisional opponents are, they're tough. You play them 2 times a year. You know each other inside and out.
Every
But
year, there's no break.
yeah,
I mean, these are the
but
teams you know.
yeah, but I'm like looking at their stat lines. Kelsey, 124 yards. Rasheed Rice, 72. You're thinking, all right, those guys are cooking. Yeah, Mahomes was 30, yeah, 30 of 40, but only 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
Right.
That this Broncos defense showed up to play.
Patrick Surtain looked good. You might recognize that
Yeah.
name.
Oh, who? Who? Patrick who?
And they were
Future
talking,
Steeler?
Richard
Future
Sherman was
Steeler?
talking about him after the game, and he's like, he's just a world-class athlete. I thought, man, it'd be so great to
It'd
get
be so good to have him
man.
and Joey Porter Jr. It would be lovely to have, but man, I just but we all know the real story of this game. T Swift was there. T Swift and Brittany Mahomes are BFFs now.
Are they?
That's the truth. That's the real story.
I agree with Travis Kelce. It's just getting too much. It's something that's annoying.
Yeah,
Like
even
who
he's
cares?
that like there's
He's
people
annoyed.
involved. Yeah, they're like, yeah, okay, I'm dating someone who is worldly popular. Get over it. Deal with it.
And it was Al
Show.
Michaels or somebody said that
Yeah,
they were not going to do as much
yeah,
Taylor Swift
yeah,
coverage. I don't know if they did or not. Like I said, I
yeah,
didn't pay that much attention
yeah,
to the game. I was off and on, and
yeah. It's like the Kelsey said on their podcast, and like the NFL doesn't not know how to deal when stars are there. They go overboard and gaga
right,
instead of like other sports like where people are there all the time. You show them and you move on.
yeah.
The NFL, like the NFL is acting like they're starved for attention. You're the most popular sports league in America. How many more eyeballs do you need?
As we were saying with Kansas City and Denver, I mean, look who beat the Patriots all those times over the years when they were good. It was
Yeah.
not all the time, but when it was a game they lost, it was to the Dolphins or the
Yeah, it was like one of those weird
the
teams.
Jets.
Yeah.
And you just you like I said, there's no year that you don't play. There's years that you don't play other teams all the time. I mean, most teams you don't play every year. Maybe you get that team from the other division in your conference just because of the way things finish, but there's no guaranteed. It is guaranteed year in, year out. You're getting these teams one time here, one time there. So again, I think that's what this came down to. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to be fine. They're probably going to come out next week and blow whoever they're playing out of the water. And Denver's probably going to go back to being terrible. But that's what it is. That's what it is. That's why that's why we're in first place. That is exactly why we're in first place.
2 division games, 2 division wins, baby. And they were both
just like the other
ugly
one
wins. Yeah, they were like
how can you play the same exact team to the old Browns and the new Browns? It was the same exact game they played.
Well, yeah. Hey, the Steelers play the same exact game no matter who they play.
Yeah,
we're just hoping someone will fall down to our level at this point.
Ain't that the truth? My top head coaches.
Oh, P coming in strong. Yeah. I forgot about Jackson Mahomes being in trouble.
All right. It's finally coming through now. Why is mine going so slow?
No, mine, it just came through too. There's a delay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is the way it's set up. There's a delay.
What's it? What's going on? I'm missing it. What's it say?
He's talking about Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift. Brittany Mahomes needs a new best friend now that Jackson Mahomes, Patrick's brother, he's in trouble.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That.
Yeah.
Was there more dialogue? Okay, I'm just getting this come through now. Has anybody been writing on the board, or is that
no? That's the first comment.
Gotcha. Okay,
that's the first comment. Yeah.
Gotcha. Top head coaches in the league. I'm sure you've seen this, Mike.
I saw the headline.
We're going to talk about it for a minute. Here's your top 10 head coaches in the NFL. Should I go 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
Go 10 to 1.
Number 10. Your number 10 best head coach in the NFL is Bill Belichick. Despite having a terrible team this year and a terrible season, Bill Belichick right now comes in at number 10. Is top 10 head coaches in the NFL. Number 9, Rick Sirianni from Philadelphia.
Wow.
Number 9.
They're undefeated.
Philadelphia's still undefeated.
They're still undefeated. Made it to the Super Bowl last year. Okay.
But we're going to continue to see who's better than them.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Pete Carroll. Your favorite, Mike. Pete Carroll from Seattle.
He got the team scrapping along over there.
Number 7, Doug Peterson, Jacksonville. Number 7, Doug Peterson.
They're struggling along, still in first somehow.
Number 6, John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens. He is a better coach than the Philadelphia Eagles coach. I'm sorry, Eagles. Next on the list, number 5, Mike McDaniel, somehow below the coaches that are ahead of him. We're going to get to
only number 5 with that Miami team. Okay.
Next on the list is from LA, Sean McVay.
Not this
Number
year,
4.
not last year.
What's that?
Not this year or last year, but okay.
All right. And ahead of him, Mike, next on the list, Mike Tomlin. Mike is the 3rd best coach in the league.
Like, or if we're basing this on history, like then Belichick should be number 1. But okay, trying to figure this out.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you're looking at it historically, it would be one thing. If you're looking at it right now, it'd be another. And for Mike Tomlin to be sitting in that number 3 spot, it's neither of those. So I don't know what they're going by to get this, because right now they're saying Mike Tomlin is coaching better than the guy in Miami, the guy in Philadelphia. Next,
he's definitely coaching better than Harbaugh. We got that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, he is higher on the list. Number 2, Mike, is Kyle Shanahan. No surprise there.
Yeah.
And number 1 is his Super Bowl opponent this year. I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to say this is probably going to be a San Francisco 49ers Kansas City Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
But I do believe this, and that coach is number 1, Andy Reid, the best coach in the NFL. Mike, you know how you dislike Andy Reid so much? I was thinking if you put a red hat on, you look a lot like Andy Reid.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get this because you heard this before?
I haven't heard it, but I see the resemblance. Me and Coach Reid are, yeah. Big, fat, bald guys with big beards. Oh, yeah. Me and Andy Reid, twins.
Yeah.
Like P's saying on the board, like Frank Reich up in Buffalo. He didn't make the top 10. Buffalo's always in contention.
Buffalo, come on.
They're
not having a great year like people thought they were going to, but they're not. They're still one of the better teams.
Zach Taylor down in the Bengals. He's turned that organization around.
Yeah.
Belichick and Tomlin don't need to be on this list right now. And Harbaugh and McVay. No. Where's Dan Campbell?
Campbell with this Lions team. Come on, you can't say he's not doing a better job than Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
who's sitting at the number 3 spot?
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. This stuff's just based off of reputation, not like what's happening now.
I can't believe that with Buffalo. That's a good point. It didn't even hit me. That's a good point, P. I just, like I said, they're not dominating like people expected them to. Kind of like the Kansas City, the way they're playing football.
Yeah.
But they're playing good enough. This is probably going to be the other team in the AFC Championship game. I haven't thought that far into it yet. I do have my Super Bowl teams, but Buffalo, come on. How is he not even in the list, let alone ahead of Mike Tomlin?
It makes no sense.
And John Harbaugh.
Like Tampa Bay, I forget who their head coach is, but they're 3-1 this year.
Is there anybody more Tomlin-like than John Harbaugh in the league, Mike?
Because they are identical.
Like a guy I work with on one of the radio shows, he calls Mike Tomlin mediocre Mike. I heard, you hear this. I say there's nobody that's more mediocre Mike than mediocre John Harbaugh.
Yeah, Harbaugh and Tomlin are the same. Harbaugh's just more animated. Tomlin's more reserved of the two. Yeah, so they're like the exact same coach.
It's wild.
Living off of past glory.
Yeah.
It is, where Harbaugh had the legendary defense. To guide him through, and Tomlin had the legendary quarterback, also had legendary defenses too to guide him through. So it's like they're the same guy. In theory, Harbaugh still does got some good defense. These linebackers, Patrick Queen and the other, what the hell's the other guy? Queen and Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith. Come on, any team would love to have those two guys.
Mm-hmm. It's just I don't know. It's like you want more success out of both of those head coaches.
You'd think that, yeah. But you know what? On the other front, these two, head coach, and you hate to keep beating this drum with Mike Tomlin and his, 18 years of non-losing football. That's what you get from these two football teams. You get two solid football teams every year. These two football teams, are always the better teams in their division. These two football teams are always going to give you a tough game. These two football teams are always going to be talked about when you're talking good football teams. But you know what? They don't get it done. They haven't gotten it done in a long time, and they're consistent with that. And that's why I think that they're better than average.
Yeah.
They're definitely not in that top tier of coaches.
No, not right now. Not at the current stage of their career. Say maybe like 6, 7 years ago. Oh hell yeah, you would you'd be hard pressed to argue against them not being top five. But right now, no, they're not. I don't consider those guys top 10 right now. I think people like Harbaugh, Tomlin, even Belichick, if they want to keep coaching, it might be time for a change of scenery.
Right.
You saw that with Andy Reid. Everyone thought he was done after Philly.
Boy,
Go
he becomes something, huh?
goes to Kansas City. Oh, you get handed Patrick Mahomes on a silver platter.
Well, I mean, somebody's
He
gonna
turns
get that
into a
job, and
generational quarterback. Hey,
he was
sometimes
smart
it's
enough
better.
to land
It's
himself there.
exactly. He got him there and just built a damn good team around him. They had a decent team before they got
I'm
him.
gonna.
Alex Smith. If they had a better quarterback than Alex Smith, they may have been more competitive and not have been able to get Mahomes at that point. So
I like somebody that and I don't really want to look into it, but just kind of curious. I wonder how many championship games he's coached in now. Not the Super Bowls, but the championship rounds, because he went to plenty with Philadelphia.
oh
A lot of
god,
them he didn't make it through. He eventually
he won
did.
at least 4 in a row at one
Yeah,
point.
there was 4 in a row, and he went to the last one. They lost to the Patriots.
Yeah,
And then and how many ever times Kansas City has been in it, and
yeah.
they're probably going to be in it again this year unless something crazy happens. But you got wow, he turned into something, man.
Yeah, like maybe that's what Harbaugh and Tomlin need is to go somewhere else. And we saw too, like Belichick, he was on those bad Cleveland teams coaching. No one ever remembers him as the Cleveland Browns head coach.
And then
He's the
you
New
get your
England.
6th round pick, and the rest was history.
Exactly. Yeah, you never know how it's going to go.
As you mentioned, Mike, about the Steelers, just the past 7 years, TJ Watt was 23 years old when he became a Steeler. TJ Watt is now 29 and has not experienced a playoff victory in Pittsburgh.
That's the way she goes sometimes, boys.
So there you have it, guys. Hopefully we could and the thing is, I mean, you can't really even get overexcited. What are we going to do this? What are we going to do this year? It ain't like
Hey,
we're going to
9-8, baby. 9-8.
we're going to rub the lamp and amazing stuff is going to come out. It is what it is. Here's another year. Here's another year, TJ. You're probably not going to win a playoff game, but you know what? If they can fall ass backward into this thing, maybe you're at least you're in. You qualify and you have that chance.
That's hey, as long as you get in, you never know what happens when you get in. But
It's
we
like
saw what happened the last couple times we made it in. It was
like
not
the
pretty.
Powerball. You don't have a chance if you don't get in.
Exactly. But speaking of, did anyone win that recently? Last I saw it was 1.4 billion. I'm thinking someone hit it. Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be
who will win it. Chase Claypool will win it. They don't have the last laugh at everybody.
He would too.
Chase Claypool. Tyreek Hill calls Chase Claypool. He says he looks like a vending machine out there because he's such a big guy. I'm sure you saw the jokes just as much as I did. He takes your money, doesn't give you anything back in return. All the vending machine jokes. I thought it was pretty funny, but there you go. They think that Chase Claypool is going to be able to be worked into the offense in Miami, which in theory, there's no reason he shouldn't be. If he fails this part of his venture, that's it. I mean, come on. Who else is going to be able to help you if you can't go to this Miami team and be somewhat of a success, be productive at least?
Exactly. And well, we saw how, he has the potential. We saw it his first, 7 games with the Steelers. They got
the best
him
7
involved.
games ever.
They were amazing. We're like, we got one. We got a guy. We got a big, tall, fast, physical receiver that's, throw any ball to him, he will catch it. And then ever since then, he's been a complete and utter disappointment. Maybe Mike McDaniel with his vape down there, he's cooking something up in the lab, and he would be the coach to to turn it around. But like dude has the potential. Does he have the want to? That's the thing. I don't think he has the.
I don't even understand. Why don't you try? What's going on with this guy?
I don't know. You see this everywhere you work. You get people who just show up for the paycheck, and that's it.
Yeah,
it happens in sports too, because to them it's just a job.
I hate, and I'm not even saying this for this argument. I just like working with people that are like that. It's a terrible, it's something that you're playing a team game.
Yeah, when
in
you're part
work
of a team like
as
that,
you are
yeah,
in sports. And you get this guy that comes in, oh, I just care about the money. And he just got this terrible attitude, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
But when you're trying to keep your own morale up at the workplace
Mm.
and not blow your brains out, having a guy just walking around with this shitty attitude, I've always had a problem with that guy. I've had a
Yeah.
couple of them in my life,
Like
and
I've
there's nothing wrong with him. I
no,
like the person, but
no, I've like worked jobs because I needed the money,
and
but
even
you're gonna still show up and do the job that you're asked to do. Same thing in sports.
obviously everybody's there for the money. I mean, you don't
Yeah,
have to walk
yeah.
around. I'm only That's the only
Well,
reason
no
we're
shit.
all
That's
here.
why I'm here. You
I
think
want to go
you
hang
think
out someplace I don't want to be
you
for
think this is my passion? No, I'm
right.
here for the
Yeah, my
paycheck.
passion.
No, I'm here for the paycheck.
Ay, ay, ay.
If my bosses are listening, no, I am at work because I love it. It's my life goal.
He wants to be there so much more.
Yeah. I want to. No,
Add
no,
days,
I can't even.
please.
I can't even lie about that. No. I had to pick up an extra day this week, and I'm ready to kill myself.
Yeah, extra days suck. And the reason extra days suck is because a work week is a mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and it's how you do it up here a lot of
Yeah,
times. Depends on how your work week is going to
yeah.
go, and then your mindset's one way, and somebody throws a day on it,
Mhm.
one day, and that's not even
One
that
day,
much,
it's
but a lot of time that's enough to throw you off,
it's 6 days.
put you in a mood.
Granted, the 6 day was only like a 4 hour shift, and it was like the easiest shift in the world.
But you know that you should
But it's
be
like
sleeping in.
today, I worked. Today was my 5th day. Like I should be done. I should be
Right.
done. I'm ready to.
And
Yeah,
knowing that you
no.
still have one
Knowing I
more.
have one more day to be there, and I have to be there at 3 in the morning is making it worse. So Chase Claypool, if you want to change that professions with me, I
Yeah,
will gladly do it, buddy.
Mike
I
will
think
switch out in a
we look
heartbeat.
alike. You can't tell me and Chase Claypool apart. I you can call me a vending machine, man.
There you go.
Yeah, hey.
You want to hear another crazy list, Mike?
Oh, I love me some crazy list.
I do
It's
too.
it's a Friday. It's list day. Fuck it.
This is the latest. This week's AFC power rankings.
Oh, let me
Should I
get the
should I
Steelers in
go
the
10 to
top
1 or
seven.
1 to 10 on this?
Let's go 10-1.
All right. Number 10 in the AFC. These are your 10 best teams according to this list. Number 10, Mike, the Houston Texans. Number 10
Ooh.
in the AFC, 10th best team, Houston Texans.
Hey, you know what? They're a scrappy little bunch down there. They're a lot better than we thought they
I
would
like
be.
them.
I like them.
Speaking of things that I don't like, number 9, the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are the 9th best team in the AFC.
Well, shit, they might not be there much longer with what their quarterback's pulling.
And
Apparently,
then you
he's
got
healthy
San
enough to
Francisco this
practice.
weekend as well.
Yeah, but like apparently, he was injured a little bit, but he's healthy enough to practice and is not practicing.
And this guy should be doing everything he possibly can to get in the good
Yeah,
graces of the Cleveland
yeah.
people, in my opinion. Come on.
Mhm.
You're up here, you're taking all this money, you're not getting any, you're not getting it
Yeah.
done. You had the issues, the off, come on.
Mhm.
He should be on his hands and knees begging the people
Yeah.
of Cleveland to take him in. He's
He's
not,
pulling.
you know what? He is just another pathetic chapter of the Cleveland Browns, Mike. This is just another chapter in the story.
I love it.
It doesn't surprise me one bit. Matter of fact, it brings me a little bit of joy
It does.
because we know that this is what the Cleveland Browns are, and this is what they've always been, and this is what they're always going to be.
Yeah, and they're wasting a damn good defense too.
You ain't kidding. Number 8, Mike, the 8th best team in the AFC. 10, of course, was the Texans. 9 was the Browns. The number 8th best team in the AFC, according to this list, is the Los Angeles Chargers, Mike. This Chargers team, it seems to me like they're being held back by their coaching.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
They got good players and good spots. If they're not going to capitalize and use them, they should just give them to us. But
Yeah.
that's probably not going to be the case. But this guy, Mike, this head coach, seems like it's is the reason why things aren't getting done.
It is. Brandon Staley is just a terrible head coach. Like, God, if people are fed up with like Tomlin around here, just be glad we don't have Brandon Staley. This dude is
Really?
a complete.
I don't know anything
utter
about him.
buffoon.
I know what I hear.
Bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Like that year where the Chargers and the Raiders, if they tie, they both make the playoffs. They kind of did a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, we're not going to try and win. And then he went out and tried to win the game at the very end, and they end up losing. And then the following year, get your star receiver back, play him in a meaningless season finale, get him hurt, and then lose in the playoffs. And then this year he's doing stupid stuff again. Like they win in spite of him. That's just like the Chargers. That's the way the Chargers are. They can't get out of their own way, whether it's the players or the coach.
Los Angeles Chargers, number 8. Number 7 on the list, Mike, of the best teams in the AFC. This is the top 10. Number 7 is the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens. I thought they were going to be a little bit better than what they were when we seen them last week. But again, you got to put the division play into the argument. Maybe they are. Maybe they are what I thought.
Yeah.
They just didn't do what they usually do because the Steeler games are always different.
Yeah, and we talked about it after the game, man. Like 21 points left on the field, drop passes, maybe even more. And so, yeah, I don't have a problem with them being here. They might be a little bit higher if they would have won that game, but
oh, absolutely,
they have a lot of talent on that team. And Lamar, the way he's placing the ball this year,
yeah. Number 6. This team here, Mike, number 6 is better than the Ravens, the Chargers, the Browns, and the Texans. Number 6 on the list is the Indianapolis Colts, Mike. The Colts. How do you see them moving forward? How they looking with the injury at the quarterback position?
Yeah, well, Gardner Minshew, man, he's gonna fight for you for tooth and nail to that last second. It kind of sucks that Anthony Richardson's hurt because he was so much fun. He's fun to watch, and he was looking like CJ Stroud, he looked like he knew what he was doing, and it was gonna grow into the end of this year to be like a star player, budding superstar. But you got Gardner Minshew there now, and he's going to do what he can to help you win the game. He's, more of a game manager at this point in his career. They're getting Jonathan Taylor back, and they're scrapping away. But I don't. That's way too high.
Number 5 on the top 10 list of AFC teams, the power rankings of the week. Number 5, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the 5th best team in the AFC.
So we're above the Texans who beat us.
Yes.
Granted, we're above Browns, the Browns and the Ravens. We did beat both of them, but ugly barely wins. Has anyone seen our offense play? Has anyone seen our defense stop the run?
Yeah.
But hey, we are in first place in our division. I will take this power ranking. Hey, whoever made this you're nuts. You're nuts. But I'll take it.
It's a bit of a shocker. I didn't expect them to be at 5, but let's continue the list, Mike, to see how everything else plays out. Number 4, one spot better than Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buffalo Bills.
Hey, when you talk about the elite teams in the league, Buffalo and then Pittsburgh's like right on their heels.
Yeah.
Is like Lev Bell back, is AB and Ben back in their prime.
So number 4 through 10, Mike, is this: Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Baltimore, the Chargers, Cleveland, and Houston. Top 3, here we go, Mike. Number 3, third best team in the AFC according to this list, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are listed right above Buffalo.
They did just beat them.
So Jacksonville.
This Jacksonville team, they're better than Jacksonville teams in the past, but I just don't see it this year out of them, like how we did at the end of last year when they made it into the playoffs and had that good comeback. I just don't. I thought they'd be a whole hell of a lot better than they are right now.
I thought the AFC would be better than they are right now.
Yeah,
because we were mentioning how strong all offseason the AFC was, and the NFC is probably going to put a good team forth. It's the opposite. I mean, you got Kansas City. I mean, they're not playing lights out like they do.
Yeah.
Buffalo, they're not playing lights out like they do. And then
Kansas
over in the NFC, what's that?
Kansas City's not blowing people out like they used to.
And in the NFC, I mean, Philadelphia's still undefeated. San Francisco is a juggernaut. Detroit's looking damn good. It really seems like the NFC is coming out is the stronger conference this year, which is the total opposite of what I thought.
Yeah. Unless there's just a lot of good teams in the AFC and they're just beating each other up.
Yeah, the good teams in the AFC are Houston, Mike. They're Cleveland. They're the Chargers. They're Indianapolis. They're the Steelers. The Steelers, Mike.
Unless there's not a lot of separation between those teams right now. It's just Pittsburgh. Yeah, hey, Pittsburgh.
Number 2.
When you talk about the elites, talk about the Steelers.
Number 2. Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, Mike, are the second best team in the AFC. Does that sound right? Is that accurate?
That sounds right. That sounds spot on.
Yeah. And number one, Mike, the same result as the head coaches, Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike, are the best team in the AFC. I have no problem
No,
conceding to that.
neither do I think though, by the end of the year, I think unless Kansas City figures it out to where they can, I don't know, put more points on the board than they are right now. A lot of their games have seemed closer than they should be.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
And the other thing is, I mean,
but they're winning. They're winning, so it's hard to critique them. But even
what happens though, Mike, when a team is so good, everyone else finally figures them out. So Kansas City has to stay ahead of the game. They have to figure out ways to continue to be that much better, and you see that gap, it's closing, then it gets bigger, then it closes. And I think that's what's happening with Kansas City right now, because at the end of the day, if I'm watching a game and I want, and I'm relying on a quarterback to win for me money, let's just say Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are the team that I would pick.
Yeah.
Beside, with the exception of San Francisco right now, Kansas City would be that team every time.
Yeah.
You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. The guy don't lose. Until he loses,
Yeah. Like he only lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Okay, that's he lost to the greatest quarterback of all time.
Right.
Yeah, there's such a huge black mark against you. But
and they weren't going to have them lose. They wasn't going to have Tom Brady lose the Super Bowl. Come on, that's
no. And that I so thought they were going to win that one. But I'm looking at their offensive totals. Like they lost 21-20 their first game, then 17-9 win, then a 41-10 win. You're like, all right, they're back on track. 23-20, 27-20, 19-18. That's what I'm saying. Like if their offense starts clicking again, look out, because right now they're just hanging in there. But like you said, you have Mahomes, you're going to find a way to win.
The dude's just he's just a winner. You have these people in life, and you usually hate them when they're in your life.
Oh yeah,
but it is what it is.
Kermit the Frog and his childbearing hips, man.
Well, I love his childbearing hips.
Oh, I know you do. The way I love Jimmy G's beautiful eyes.
You're right. How weird. Come on. Talk a little bit more about Taylor Swift.
What is it with the AFC West quarterbacks?
I don't know.
You got Herbert out there with the hair.
Who?
Then you got Justin Herbert with that beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Well, then there's Russell Wilson. He has to ruin the whole vibe.
Boy, he stinks. I was watching this game a little bit last night. Boy, he just stinks.
I don't know what he had a.
Well, and where's all the Seahawks fans? Remember when the Seahawks was the team for 2 years? Everybody was a Seahawks fan.
Oh yeah, they
moved to Missouri, I guess.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, Eric Bieniemy.
He left the Kansas City, and he took his offense down to Washington. Washington's looking pretty good offensively. Like Mahomes is still finding a way to put up numbers though. But Bieniemy, man, he would be the guy I would love to see come in and coach.
Oh, I see. That's what he said. Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. Your top 10 teams in the AFC. So it goes like this: Kansas City, Miami, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Baltimore, the LA Chargers, Cleveland, and Houston. And
you know what? Like after you get out of like the top 5, the bottom 5 of that top 10, you can just rearrange them in any order.
And this goes into the weekend. The Steelers are on a bye this week, so we're
going to struggle in the bye.
Yeah, we will struggle. We could possibly lose this week.
We could. All depends on what Matt Canada draws up in the.
He could draw up a loss on a bye week. Believe me, if anybody could, Matt Canada could. Mike, there. It is said, chanting "Fire Canada" is only hurting his family. Mike, does this matter? Does it matter if it's affecting his family? I don't go into a situation thinking I am going to go destroy his family's psyche. But you know what? You're in the public eye. You're in pro sports.
Yeah, that's
you
what
get
happens.
booed. If you do well, we cheer you. And that's the thing. Don't get mad when you get booed, because when you're playing good, you get the cheers. I think it comes with the territory. Mike, do you have any remorse for the way that Matt Canada is being treated here in Pittsburgh?
No, but he's like anything that goes wrong with the team, he is the focal point of it. So as long as you're not like sending death threats,
Right.
Boo, say fire the guy.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you're the guy throwing garbage in Tommy Maddox's yard 20
Exactly.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Don't. Yeah. 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 So at least it's just fire Canada chance. But like, why do it? Why do it at a Penguin game? Makes no
Because
sense.
it's funny. It's a Pittsburgh thing now. It's national, Mike. And I know where this roots from, and I'm not really gonna get into it, but Mike, it's fun. Come on. Come
Not
on.
at a Penguin game. Not at a Penguin.
Uh
I
um
know. I'm the buzzkill.
well, you're not, because I know where the original Buzzkill came from, and I seen it, and I thought how ridiculous.
I don't know. I didn't even know where that came from. I
Eh,
don't. I don't. I don't follow him anymore.
no, he's heavy on that. And it's like, dude, who cares? Who cares?
Okay.
Who cares? Mike Isaac Siamalu in his last 2 games. We're going to talk a little bit about some offensive numbers that might surprise you for these Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm ready for that.
Siamalu, Mike, in his last 2 games had 69 pass blocking snaps, 1 pressure allowed, 0 QB hits, and 0 sacks allowed, Mike.
Nice. That left side might be coming along. See Malu and Broderick Jones, baby.
Absolutely. We gave Broderick Jones's numbers yesterday. They were just as impressive. Here's another one that you might find a little surprising. And you know what I did? I found this surprising, whether you do or not. But I would be surprised if you say that you weren't. The Steelers have only had 3 dropped passes this season. 3, what's considered a drop pass. They've had 3 drop passes this season.
Oh, you know that number is going to shoot up when Deontay comes back. I feel bad. I love Deontay, but you know the narrative around Deontay. He drops
absolutely.
The ball.
I'm sure he's a great guy, but come on. 3 drop passes through 5 games. I mean, you know,
that's impressive. That's impressive.
There's a lot of things this team isn't doing well, but there's some things that this team is doing pretty well.
It to me, like, drop passes is kind of like, you know, the hits in hockey. That shit is subjective. Right. I've seen balls go through like Larry Fitzgerald. Oh, he has more tackles than drop passes. I've seen balls clang off his hand and they go, oh, no drop passes today.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
No, come on.
However it is kept track of, that is what it is.
Exactly. But you know, hey, that's a good stat, man. That's an encouraging sign. Like, you know, when they get open, when the ball's thrown to them and catchable ball, and they get their hands on it, they're holding on to that. That's encouraging.
You want to hear some good numbers from the defensive side also?
Always.
Your boy who strapped OBJ's old ass on Sunday, talking about JPJ, Joey Porter Jr., who's becoming one of my favorite Steelers. Mike, he has so far this season. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for PZ Jr.'s numbers?
I'm ready for PZ. I think this is why Derpy is not around, because he was not a fan of the PZ Jr. pick.
76 coverage snaps this season, 7 targets, 1 catch allowed for 12 yards, 2 passes defensed, 1 interception, and a 0.0 passer rating allowed, which is the lowest in the NFL.
Not bad at all.
That's what I'm saying. We're there's things we're not doing well, but there's things that we're doing pretty damn well.
Great spots.
We're in first place, you know. So
yeah. And
you gotta sometimes look at these things and say, okay, this is good.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. And like, in the rookies, when given a shot, are playing well.
I agree.
Jones is playing lights out. You know, you just had Porter's numbers. Keanu Benton.
See all the work that Benton's getting. Absolutely. Yeah. No denying this.
You know, Darnell Washington, you know, he's out there. He doesn't look lost. You know, hasn't really contributed to the passing game, but he doesn't look lost. Run blocking, pass blocking, doing those little things that, you know, tight ends normally do. You know, he's not going to be that big pass catching tight end. That's Muse role. So he's fitting in. To me, he's like that Mark Bruner type tight end.
And I tell you what about this rookie here, providing our defense stays healthy, our linebackers stay healthy. You know, luckily we're not going to see much of Nick Herbig because, you know, like I said, we have a pretty star-studded group of linebackers. But this kid, when he finally gets his chance to get out there and play, you know, maybe have a season under his belt in the NFL to get fine-tuned, because the kid just has his natural knack to play football. You see it out there every time he's there. He has a motor on him. So, I mean, if we do get a chance to look at him, great. But I think he's another one. The fact that we don't have to rush him in, we can use that luxury to, you know, to sharpen his skills a little bit. When we finally do get that Nick Herbig time, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him. Like,
it's bringing back memories of the way the Steelers used to do with outside linebackers. You would always have that guy waiting. That you'd be like, in 2 years, he's the starter.
We have
after
that.
Someone else moved. Like, we had Greg Lloyd, Eric Green behind them, who would like Chad Brown was there, and Joey Porter was there. We would always be that guy next up.
It's like
Mark Hagan's,
Jason
Lamar
Gilden, and then when
Woodley,
Gilden was gone,
Yeah,
somebody else.
Harrison was that guy for a while too. You'd always have boom, a plug and play player ready to go, and it's nice to see that. And when he's in there, you're not losing a whole lot. And even when blanking on the name, who's on the opposite side backing up what? I
Golden,
want
Marcus Golden.
Marcus going. Thank you. I almost said Malik Reed. I had flashbacks to last year. But but like when those two are in there, you're not. Yeah, you can tell it's a step down, but it's not a precipitous drop like it was last year. So
Yeah,
Herbie
yeah,
the
the
it's
margin
nice to have
between
those two.
T.J. Watt and Malik Reed was pretty big.
Yeah, and this year, it's still big because you have Hall of Fame caliber player, but
But
it's not as
Marcus Golden
bad.
is so much better than Malik Reed.
Yes, and then Herbig looks more advanced than Highsmith was at
Right.
this stage in his career. Granted, he's coming from a higher caliber, competition. He's playing Wisconsin Big Ten football, where Highsmith was playing lower tier football, so it makes sense that Herbig's a step, a little more advanced at this stage in his career. But it's nice to see we have 4 good linebackers, and like you're saying, this rookie class, man, Herbig, Benton.
It was a good draft.
Porter.
No two ways about it. I'm kind of curious now. I'm looking ahead a little bit to the next draft. I should enjoy this season, but
Enjoy the season.
excuse me, the last group of numbers I do have, Mike. This is before we start to get ready to wrap it up for the week. TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith's combined numbers through 5 weeks. Together, these two gentlemen have 10 sacks, 50 pressures, 27 QB hurries, 22 QB hits, 9 tackles for losses, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, an interception, and 2 defensive touchdowns. Is there a pair of linebackers in this league right now playing any better than these two?
No, God, no. They are just that's a nasty tandem. That is just a nasty tandem.
Imagine calling up PFF and giving them all them numbers and still coming out lower than Myles Garrett.
Oh yeah. Well, they're not affecting the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot of pressures, hurries, hits, tackles for losses, fumbles, recoveries, injuries, defensive touchdowns, which a lot of these things I have never seen. I haven't seen Myles Garrett do it all with these interceptions.
There are a lot of pressure or coverage sacks and coverage pressures. Yeah, it's because of the back end. Oh, okay.
So whatever that is, they're going to ride that out, I guess.
Oh, you know it.
Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website, man?
The 2dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head on over there. We have everything you need for us. All of our socials over there. Our merch stores over there. A new blog post is up today. All there at the 2dumyinzers.com.
Mike is on top of it. Great job, Mike. It looks good. Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. www.the2dumyinzers.com. Mike, I with Derpy, I don't know what he's doing.
Is he going off the deep end?
Well, kind of. I remember yesterday we did our picks and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I said I would give him a chance and I would give him to 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I texted him. I told him all this. So about 4 o'clock, I texted him again. I was like, hey, dude, you got 4, the game's at 8 o'clock. You got to have your picks in by then.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. So I'm like, all right. 7 o'clock comes. He still hasn't sent any picks. So I'm like, Derby, I texted him again. I'm like, hey, you got less than an hour. I can't officially let you, in the picks if you don't make your picks now, because it's going to, it wouldn't be unfair. He goes, okay, yeah. And then he starts saying all this weird stuff, man. Like, well, I don't know. It doesn't really mean anything. And I didn't know if he was talking to me at first. Sometimes you're texting the wrong person. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, it's just entertainment. And I was like, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
if it means anything,
that's the point. It's all meaningless, but it provides entertainment.
So I don't know. Like he was just in one of the, like in a mood, like if somebody's like really just caught up in a mental situation. So it was like 10 to 8, and I was like, Derpy, just send me tonight's pick so I can at least officially log you in.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we'll get the rest of your picks.
Yeah.
So I texted him. I was like, Derpy, you have 3 minutes. Are you in or no?
Yeah.
7:59. He texts Kansas City. And I was like, okay, well, you're officially in. I
Yeah,
guess we'll get the rest of your scores tomorrow.
and then nothing.
And then nothing. So you're gonna have to
I don't.
you're gonna have to go up there and find out what's going on, Mike.
I'm not going anywhere up there.
You gotta knock on the door and
Hey, if he says this is just
ask
doesn't mean
questions.
anything, then be that way, Derpy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it wasn't like he was saying about this show. It was just kind of like this overall gloom and doom
yeah,
kind of person attitude that he had the past couple of days. And he said something, and I was like, what? And then he was just like, my sister, and like it had nothing to do with anything I was saying.
yeah,
So that's why I originally thought that he was
yeah.
talking to somebody, or thought that he was talking to
So,
somebody
yeah.
else. But I guess in all fairness, he has till Sunday morning,
Yeah, so there is a
9:30.
yeah, I'm gonna say there's a game over in Europe, man. That Baltimore Tennessee game. He has till 9:30.
So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna come down on him, but he does. He has till 9:30
Yeah.
Sunday morning.
Hopefully, everything's all right with Derpster.
Yeah,
But come on, buddy.
I am. Yeah, it's
We,
all.
we make the picks for fun, buddy. It's a competition between me and you. It's a friendly competition.
Yeah.
I
I mean, he was doing so good too prior when we were doing the preseason and things like
he
this.
was killing it.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh, Derpy.
But Derpy has till Sunday morning at 9:00.
I think he's just afraid that he's gonna lose.
He's
gonna
like,
go.
who cares?
He's gonna lose every single week. To me, he doesn't want the smoke, is what it is.
Oh.
Oh, Derp.
Mike, anything before we get ready to take off for the weekend,
I
man?
got nothing, man. I got nothing. Steeler fans, it's the bye week.
Go
Go
what
to
are we gonna
church.
do? Watch baseball?
Go to church, chant Fire Canada. Go to the
Yes.
synagogue, chant Fire Canada. Go to the mosque, chant Fire
Yes.
Canada.
Yes.
Go down to the strip, chant Fire Canada. Go to the strip club, chant Fire Canada.
I dig. I like it. I like the harassment of players. That's just me. But we do want to thank everybody checking us out.
Yes.
Of course, always,
Really
we always,
appreciate it.
always, every single one of you, every single one. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody on the board. As I said, the baseball playoffs, Mike, you have a Final Four: Rangers, Astros. That series starts Sunday. Arizona, Philly. That series starts on Monday. Bunch of college football tomorrow. Penguins, Capitals tonight. Next week we get back at it. The Steelers come to they go to Los Angeles to play the Rams. So
The Rams. Oh, we
Getting
gotta
into
go
that
out to LA.
what's that?
We're going to LA.
We are so far.
Oh,
Yes. It's gonna be interesting. So there you have it,
that kind
everybody.
of just bummed me out. I thought it was a home game.
Well, we have this bye week, and a lot of times doesn't Tomlin usually come out strong after bye weeks?
Oh, he does. Yeah, we come out fired up, but usually it's like a home game after a bye week or
You're right.
a close road game. This is out west, buddy, where we struggle.
We really screwed ourselves when we took the 2 home games to start the season. Now everything else is just not going to fall into place.
That sucks.
We're just so used to not having that game, and those 2 games. When was the last time we had an opening home game besides this year? Years.
Yeah.
But so check it out, everybody. A lot of NFL football on Sunday. First thing in the morning, Monday, we'll be back talking about it, and amongst other things. So for Mike, myself, the 2 Dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.